It is often called the fifth taste, and it can sometimes be difficult to describe or imagine, but once you taste it, it crops up in surprising places. What am I talking about? Well, umami, of course. Hi there. I'm Jacqueline for Vero, where we go around the world searching out wild and scarce wines and olive oils to bring to the US for wine lovers, businesses, and distributors all over the country who share our passion for small production, hard-to-find wines, and authentic products. We have been talking a lot about taste on this channel recently. After all, it's such an important aspect of wine, and we get asked all the time, what's this wine taste like? We've done a whole video talking about just the basic tastes and a whole nother video talking about how they influence flavor in wines. I'll have both of those videos linked below you can check out after this. And if you missed those videos and articles, it might be because you are not subscribed here on YouTube, so click down below to fix that. Or you might not be subscribed to the Vero newsletter on verovino.com, where we send out weekly emails detailing our latest content and, of course, whenever we get in new wines. All subscribed? All right, let's get back to the flavors. So our conventionally accepted four main tastes are sour, sweet, salty, and bitter. However, the science of taste is changing, including how we understand the tongue and the taste buds and how they work together. In addition, a new taste is becoming more and more popular, popping up in more and more places, and it's almost become a kind of buzzword in the culinary world. That is umami. So what is umami? Well, it's a pleasant, savory flavor that's different from the others. It can be found from glutamate, and it's an amino acid that is found in many foods like meat, fish, vegetables, and dairy. MSG is actually a common way to add this flavor, and when I took my WSET courses, they actually used MSG powder as a way to demonstrate a pure umami taste for us to imagine. This glutamate is what gives umami its unique taste, and we often will see things like MSG to be used as a flavor enhancer in the kitchen. In general, we can describe umami as a rich, savory, meaty, or broth-like taste. It's not usually easily identifiable by itself, and it doesn't usually have a distinct smell like sour or sweet might. But basically, umami can enhance the overall flavor of a food by helping to balance out the other basic tastes. So where can we find this elusive umami and this fifth taste? Well, actually, the list is quite extensive when you think about it. If we talk about umami, we can look at aged cheeses like Parmesan, cured meats like prosciutto, fermented foods like soy sauce, miso paste, and sauerkraut. There's certain vegetables too, like asparagus, ripe tomatoes, and mushrooms. We can look at things like olives, truffles, and anchovies, and seaweed, all things that are packed with umami flavors. These ingredients are staples in cuisines around the world and contribute to that savory depth that we often crave in food. But what about wine? Can we find umami in our favorite glass? Well, the answer to that is yes, although it's often more subtle and nuanced than in food. Actually, like we mentioned certain vegetables earlier that have umami tastes, this is because they have glutamate present, right? And guess what fruit we know and love that also has glutamate? Ding, 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 grapes. So when we want to determine if we are getting pronounced umami flavors in wine, we want to look for it manifesting as earthy or mushroomy notes with a certain savory complexity on the palate. All right. A great, let's say, general category that we can look at in wine to search for umami flavors is that of natural wines and wines that have undergone extended contact with their lees, or the dead yeasts after fermentation has finished. These wines have tendencies to develop more pronounced savory and umami notes, especially in the aging on the lees category. The actual process itself contributes to the umami taste because as the yeasts break down, they can release certain amino acids into the wine, glutamate being one of them. Think about a wine with a bit of age that can develop those intriguing undernotes of forest floor or dried mushrooms. That savory depth you're experiencing could very well be umami at play. A great example of umami in wine is actually Zanon's Bosquera Pet Nat. This Col Fondo wine is bottled with the lees still in there. So this basically means that the lees contact extends indefinitely even into your glass. This extended lees contact really helps to pull out those subtle yet satisfying umami characteristics. This is the savory element that you will often detect through a tasting rather than aromas. So we're gonna sense it on the palate, not really on the bouquet. And quickly looking at food and umami in food, when you're faced with a dish that has lots of umami qualities, what wines can you pair? Well, of course, the previously mentioned Zanon's Bosquera from a rare grape goes well with umami dishes. We love it with ramen, actually. But you can also look at other wines like Sandro de Bruno's Durello sparkling wine made in the traditional champagne method, or maybe Quercia Scarlata's Marchese Japo white wine that is made from a blend of local white grapes from Le Marche, Italy. And that wine also has some extra lees aging before bottling. Lastly, think of an orange wine, like La Magliosa's Saturnalia Bianco, that, as a natural wine as well, pairs really well with umami and savory dishes. All of these wines and so many more you can find in the Vero shop on verovino.com that I have linked below. There you can scroll to discover unique wines to enjoy. We can ship them directly to your door, or you can contact us for wholesale business pricing. And remember, while you're browsing the Vero shop, sign up for the Vero newsletter to not miss any more wine drops or article releases. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like below and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I will see you with the next video, which I recommend being this one here on the 5 tastes and how to recognize them in wine. See you there. Bye.